And I think for those moments when you have a visit and you can say to the people who are coming, hey, I matter here. I'm a big part of this team. I work hard. I love what I do. I appreciate the brand and the store that I work for. We are making the difference. We are the reason that these customers come back. Sorry. It's discontinued. Hi, you guys. Welcome to another episode of Sorry, It's Discontinued. I'm Hilary, your host, and thank you for being here with me. I really want to get into the topic of this episode, which we've all experienced in retail one time or another, or many, and many, and many, the visit. And if you haven't experienced it yet, don't worry. If you're working in retail, the magic will happen for you too. Oh yeah, you'll get to experience the visit as well. This is something that I don't think we talk about enough. I think I say that with every episode. We probably bitch about it in the break room or before work. And after it's over, usually after it's over, we're all so exhausted. We just don't want to talk about anything. We just want to go sit in a corner in our house, hide in the bathroom, sit in our car for maybe an hour after we pulled into the driveway. Have you ever done that? I do that a lot. I used to do it a lot more when my kids were little. But now, when I experience a visit, it's a little different, but I feel a little bit more like to highlight what the visit and the people who are creating or doing the visits are missing. They're missing it. They don't see what they're missing. So we're going to talk about what they're missing today because all the people that work for them are kind of amazing. We are retail warriors. We are a retail family. Have you ever heard, if you're related to one person in retail, basically you've met them, worked with them, or interviewed with them, what have you? You know everybody in retail, especially in cosmetics and beauty. We all know each other. And if you don't think you know them, believe me, they know somebody who knows you, and they might have even talked about you with love, of course. But this experience of being in retail and what it means, especially nowadays with everything that's going on and all the changes, visits can be a huge opportunity. And we need to let them know. And when I say them, corporate, these big teams, the owners of the companies, when they come to a store or brand visits, when they visit their brand ambassadors, business managers, account executives, they could be making huge impacts, which really will affect the bottom line. More money in their pocket. Okay, that was stupid, but it's true. It really impacts how much money the company will make because people are enjoying the brand. People who work for the brand or the stores are thankful for their jobs and appreciate them when they feel appreciated. So I just want to get into the visit, and there's many kinds. So I hope you'll sit with me today. All right, so we've heard this many times. They're coming. It's either in a morning meeting announcement. They're coming. Suits are coming. Suits are coming. You get details of what kind of visit. Sometimes it's just boring, pop-ins from, security teams or audits or visual. I say boring, but maybe to them it's not, and they just love it. So no judgment, my personal opinion. But once you find out that there's a visit coming, everything just changes. Everything changes in the tone of the store. There's an immediate sense of urgency. You've experienced that, right? All of a sudden, there's confusion of, wait, are they going to walk by the counter? The truth is you never know if they're going to come to your department. A lot of times you prepare and prepare and prepare this chaotic visit, but a lot of times they just walk on by. They just walk on by. Really, the unspoken ritual of the visit, right? We have to get everything ready. So you're cleaning, especially like beauty and retail, cleaning all the testers, getting everything ready, panic cleaning, depending on how soon they're going to come by. You've got to restock your testers, make sure everything looks brand new, like the store just opened and magically there's no customers or anything. It all looks so perfect. Reorganizing drawers, fixing your cases, and making sure everything is set in visual standards for the season or upcoming launches. Everyone has to make sure that their uniforms are set, even though half the time we don't even want to wear the uniform because they suck and it's fucking hot. But that's totally separate. So you also are preparing for a visit. And if anybody who's worked in a store and has been building up for the visit, you're working sometimes off the clock. That's illegal. You can't do that, just FYI. But maybe you're sneaking in an extra 10 minutes because the stock room isn't done and you're supposed to be there at like 7:30 or 8 in the morning and the visit is coming. Who's done that before? I didn't do that. I wouldn't do that. It's illegal. You shouldn't be working off the clock, right? Managers are stressed. Associates are nervous. There are the managers that say, "Oh, I've been through this so many times. I never get nervous." But you know that they're nervous when they tell you, "Don't take a lunch. Don't take a lunch." Because they don't want anybody to leave the floor because the visit might happen anytime. Have you experienced that? So you know that they're telling you that they're not nervous, but they're nervous. They want to impress. We all want to impress mom and dad, right? So visits can be full of the feeling of surveillance, stress, and of course, we support each other. What do you need? How can I help? But we're all like freaking out getting ready for the visit. And keep in mind, these visits aren't all the time, especially when they are brand visits from big headquarters or the big store visit. They happen just a few times a year or once a year. And a lot of times for these bigger stores, those are the number one priority because that's their big money makers, right? So you've got a lot of pressure and expectations. And you have to look a certain way, so your bosses look a certain way, and everybody looks like they're doing their job, which of course they are. Yeah, we're all doing our job. We really are, at least most of the time, until we're in our car and we cry. A lot of times with these visits, they don't think about this stuff. So let's tell them about it. You had to go in early, or like I said, you're working off the clock. You can't. It's illegal. Don't do it. But you're working to have everything set up in the stock rooms and your counter just beautiful. An extra little polish here. And then you're starting to walk away and then you notice a smudge over here. You've stayed late. And keep in mind, you still have to maintain your client's needs. So you might still have to stay a little later for the client package that you forgot to wrap because your mind is so focused on the visit. Also, your new collection, you realize, oh my gosh, I have to wear this new look tomorrow, or I have to be well equipped, ready to go with the knowledge of all the new looks that are coming in the book, in the season, in the spring, in the fall catalog. You could tell I don't work in clothing, just juniors that one time at Foley's. Yeah, old. But looking at all of these details, sometimes you miss a detail until the next day and you're like, shit, I left my name tag at home because I took off my jacket to have it dry cleaned. Of course, you have more than one. I know. But you forget it. You forgot your name tag. Thank God for the manager who has all of the backup name tags hidden in her office, and she only breaks them out when there's a visit. Yeah, I know. You don't care about a visit. You do it all the time. It's fine. But you're ready with those name tags. And I have used the backup name tag more than once because that was the day that I forgot my name tag. So we're focusing on all of these moments that we work and strive to be better and good at our job every day. And you really wish that you could pull these people aside and say, hey, just acknowledge the hard work that I do. Just acknowledge the hard work. And a lot of times they have no clue, because they've got a lot going on. They're just hitting each spot before the next one. It kind of made me think about, you know how you hear that dogs, you have them for just a little small part of your life. You get to experience the love of a dog, if you're a dog lover, and they get you for their whole life. I don't know, is the visit kind of close? Just a small moment of their lives. It's a big moment for you. Okay, so story time. I want to share a little bit about what I've experienced personally. This is my own personal story. Once I was working on a team and we had prepped for days, literally, because we had this huge brand visit. It was big. And we knew, of course, for a while that they were coming. So we had time to really clean. I mean, we cleaned on our hands and knees, cleaning floors, dusting corners, making sure inside where the trash cans, which get gross at a makeup counter, that those were spotless. Everything was clean. And what was so cool is that this counter, it was like a counter boutique. It was so beautiful. Sadly, it doesn't exist anymore. But at this beautiful boutique, there were nooks and crannies everywhere where you could hide shit, like samples and things, and you squirrel them away, and you wouldn't even remember where you squirreled them because there were so many places you could hide things. It was kind of awesome. And it was really fun because when you're cleaning, then you find it was like scavenger hunt. No, more like finding treasure. And I had a coworker, he would squirrel things away, totally forget about it. And then we'd come across it, and it was from like 2 years ago, and they're probably expired samples. It's pretty funny. He knows who he is. But I have to admit, I would really enjoy finding them because it would be like, oh, I forgot about this. This is such a great deluxe sample. Anyway, totally off topic. Okay, so we're cleaning everything, right? Testers, counters, perfect. We're kind of excited because this is a big visit. We were really prepared. And it wasn't just us. So it was also the store manager. He had to be ready. Our department managers had to be ready. Our account executive, they were going to be walking with this big team. And they were supposed to be there kind of late morning, like 10, 11 at the latest, because we were one of the first places that they were coming to visit. Right? Now we waited and we waited some more and we waited some more. Supposedly they were on their way, but really they weren't. We kept getting on our way. So we couldn't take our breaks. We couldn't eat. And this is pretty common when there's a visit. You stop everything. You don't even want to go to use the restroom because they could just pop in. And you've been preparing this whole time for this visit. We couldn't leave. And you can't sit. You're not allowed to sit in the department because, God forbid, you've got to look polished, professional, luxurious. So don't take a break. And they were heading our way, supposedly, for hours. Hours. And nothing. Okay, so somehow it was kind of funny, really, now that I think about it. I ended up on the escalator with my store manager, right? I was headed back to the counter. And this store manager was also waiting for this visit. And at this time, it was pretty late, and he was very agitated because, he's a busy guy. He didn't like to wait. I mean, this was a long time ago, and the store's not even there, sadly, anymore. But he was so agitated, rightly so. But he looked at me. We're on the escalator, and he's like, why are they always late? Why the heck are these people always late? It sounds so silly, but when he said that, and then he was like, I've been waiting all day. Like, yeah, me too. And I'm starving because he didn't go to eat because they were supposedly around the corner for hours. And we had been waiting since before 11, and it was in the late afternoon. I didn't want to say anything wrong because he's my boss complaining about my bosses. And I was like, I know. What are you going to do? Because you can't say anything. But it was very validating. I'm like, I know this is such bullshit. I'm so hungry and I'm tired. And it was annoying. They did finally come, and we were all so hungry and just like ready for it to be over, which it's sad because thinking back, those are really rare moments when you get to meet brand headliners, brand bosses, the big wigs. and you get to meet them. It's not like a celebrity sighting, but these are the people you work so hard for. And that's a moment that could have been really impactful. And instead, we were so tired and it was very dismissive of the team and our needs because we were not priority. The priority was with the team that they were visiting, not the stores that they were visiting, in my opinion. I also remember a time that I was working in a store, I was working a counter. And at this point, I was, maybe a business manager, right? But I was working in a position where I wanted to impress and I wanted to highlight our amazing team. And we had been waiting for a while. We're able to eat lunch, but I had to go to the restroom. And I was afraid to go, but finally I just had to go to the restroom. So guess what? Yeah, I left my phone at the counter, went to the restroom. I was gone probably 10 minutes because you had to walk to the restroom. And I totally missed the visit. They couldn't wait because they were in a hurry and they had to catch a plane, which I get it, And my coworkers were like, we tried calling you. Where were you? I was like, I told you guys I'd go to the bathroom. But what are they going to do? They're going to run to the bathroom and come find me. Hey, they can't leave. They have to entertain the visit. So apparently they were very nice and it was very quick and they congratulated our business but I would have really enjoyed that to meet them. Okay, so another visit experience, a full brand team was visiting and coming to our counter and they were actually on time. Everyone was there, store managers, department managers, my counter manager at the time. We were all ready, lined up. Counter looked beautiful. They spoke to everyone at the counter that wasn't the team. So basically, it was the business manager. The rest of us who cleaned, organized, prepped, and are working the business every day, taking care of all their clients so their business looks good. We were invisible. No acknowledgement. And that's not an exaggeration. And that is not a fake story nor fake news. Really happened. We were all there. I know some of my teammates didn't want to be highlighted or acknowledged. They're more introverted or what have you. But I really believe, regardless, I don't want somebody to sit there and quiz me and all the shit that we have to do every day and my numbers and my customer skills or customer service skills. But I would have liked a handshake. Hey, thank you. Thanks for all you do. But instead, all of the suits were scribbling notes, checking boxes, talking to everybody except for us. Completely invisible, which is so weird. And I also think as an adult, that adults should acknowledge adults, right? I mean, actually, no, I retract that statement. I think humans should acknowledge all humans, anytime, even if you're in a hurry. A simple thanks, guys, to the whole group. That would have been really impactful. That moment of thank you, I would have kept that. But instead, I think about that moment where they're all standing together, all these suits, just talking to each other, almost like they were watching us in a box. It was weird. But, you smile, you've got your uniform on, you've got to look engaged, but you just feel like wallpaper and all that prep and hard work. It was over in like 5 minutes, but they continue to go and walk with, the counter manager where they can highlight how great they are. And without them, they wouldn't have the successful business that they have. Thank God for them. So I know everybody who comes on a visit, or everyone who is visiting, it's a better way to say it. They're on a schedule. I get it. It's part of the job. You've got to go to a lot of places. You could be really tired. I don't know what's going on in your life. I don't know what it took for you to visit the store. And you probably, have numerous stores you have to visit before you leave and get on the plane and head home. But recognizing the people who make the business possible and the business run takes all of just a minute. You could say hello and thank you to the whole group in one run. Hey, everybody. Thank you for all that you do. Look at that. That was like, what, 2 seconds? One time, there was the company's top head of head guy just coming through the store. Probably came on his private plane. He came with his entourage, looking sharp. He's a very handsome man. Had his teenage son. Oh, and there was a dog. Hello, dog lover. Love a dog. The fact that there was a dog. Hey, I love that he loves a dog. Carrying the dog. No hello, no stop. I think he had visited a few counters. So this is my personal experience. But it was such a blur of motion, and it looked like this kind of scene of entourage arrogance in a way. Yeah, I get that you say hi to everybody in a store meeting, or maybe you've come through and you're super tight on time. You can't say hi to everybody. You could jump on the store's speaker, grab one of those phones. Hey, everybody, I'm sorry I'm not going to get to say hi to you. I really appreciate all that you're doing today, and thank you for all the preparation you did to prepare for this visit, because I know you busted your ass, probably just for a few days because you didn't know I was even coming. Boop. Done. Doesn't take that long. Recognize the people. No hello, no stop, at least to our counter. I heard he's a nice guy, no judgment. I'm a parent. I love dogs. We're all in it to win it. But thanking the team you're visiting doesn't take that long. It's not like I expect for us to have tea and go to lunch together, but when you see someone, and I could be the only one. I mean, we see these videos all the time of like celebrities being assholes, but when you see the celebrity like Keanu Reeves being so kind to somebody, doesn't that just make you feel so good? You're just like, oh my gosh, thank you. When you see it, especially with the people you work for, it's like, yes, more of that, please, sir. Oh, I can't believe I just did that. I've been watching a lot of Downton Abbey. So not every visit is cold or disconnected. One of the most powerful moments I've ever experienced was when a group came from out of town, and they were coming for a while. We knew, to prepare and so on. And they came almost on time. They were a little bit late, but we were all able to go to lunch and so on. And they walked around a lot of the store, and they didn't carry clipboards. They were just very casual. And they stopped at our counter and they looked each of us in the eye. They shook our hands. They introduced themselves. It was kind of awesome. It was respectful. They were very handsome. But their eyes were very kind. It was warm and it was human. And I'm so thankful for it. That's something that I do remember, and I appreciate it. A lot of expectations on associates and beauty advisors, brand ambassadors. Now, you look at the times that you prepare for these visits, and I said at the beginning of this episode, you're not paid for time you're required to work. A lot of times, including your pre-shift, makeup and putting on your full look, which I still don't think is right, that we can't put on the new collections and we have to come in before we clock in and do that. And you have to prepare for these visits and be in full uniform, which includes makeup or hairstyling or your suit or whatever it is that you need. It's basically unpaid prep. Now, I work in Texas, and Texas is what's called an at-will employment state, meaning employers can fire you for almost any reason, except one that's illegal. So what does that mean for us? Yes, you can sue an employer in Texas if you're not paid for time you're required to work, including pre-shift tasks like makeup or security checks or unpaid prep. or the company enforces a grooming code in any type of discriminatory way, or you're retaliated against for raising concerns about labor violations. And there's modules that were tested on with these big companies or small companies, stores. But the hard truth is Texas, it tends to favor businesses in court. You'll need a lot of proof and persistence, and maybe even backup from the Texas Workforce Commission for the U.S. Department of Labor to build your case. Still, your rights matter, your time matters, all of it matters. So highlighting the things that we do in these jobs that go unnoticed, and is that every job that's a service industry job of a nurse, a teacher, a person who works in the service industry, retail. And I think for those moments when you have a visit and you can say to the people who are coming, hey, I matter here. I'm a big part of this team. I work hard. I love what I do. I appreciate the brand and the store that I work for. We are making the difference. We are the reason that these customers come back. Those connections, those times that I've spent with Susan and recognized her children's birthdays or appreciated her and validated how beautiful she was when she's going through a divorce. Or it could be Terrence coming in for his wife's birthday and he wants to treat her to a new fragrance or a new wardrobe. We are the reasons that you get to visit the stores in the first place, that you have the jobs, right? Am I being dramatic? I don't think so. I think it just needs to be said more. What do you guys think? All right, so before we go, I just want to recognize all of us who work in retail, in the service industry, taking care of every nook and cranny of stores, preparing for visits. We all do the hard work. We're on the floor, right? We are the reasons that the customers come back and the visits are possible. So any corporate leadership, any brand team, anyone who is visiting a store, saying thank you to all of them is really important. You know, I appreciate you guys, my retail warriors, and I thank you so much for listening to another episode of Sorry It's Discontinued. And I can't wait to hear from you guys and see what you think. Let's keep talking about it. Until next week, love you guys. Bye. Thank you so much for spending time with me behind the counter today. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow Sorry It's Discontinued on your favorite podcast app and leave a quick rating or review. It really helps our retail family and fellow customers find the show. You can also connect with me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Sorry It's Discontinued. And if you have your own behind the counter story, a discontinued product heartbreak, or a beauty or retail industry confession, send it my way. Your story might be featured in a future episode. You can send me a message at sorryitsdiscontinued.com. Now, this podcast, it's independently produced and is not affiliated with any brands or companies mentioned. All stories and opinions shared are personal, reflecting the real-life experiences of those who've worked in this industry with heart and hustle. Thank you for being here. And remember, as cheesy as it sounds, a smile can really brighten someone's day. Honestly, whether you're behind the counter or shopping in front of it. Okay, see you next time. Bye. Sorry. It's discontinued.